Hello friends, welcome to my channel. I am going to read an editorial recounting Welper's story in ending child labor by Ashok Kumar G. He is a former Indian Administrative Service officer and is currently a senior faculty member in the Center for Policy Research. Every year, June 12 is observed as World Day Against Child Labor under the auspices of the International Labour Organization. In an attempt to draw the attention of the world on the issue of child labor, the day brings together governments, employers and workers' organizations as well as civil society to work towards ending child labor. Though Sustainable Development Goal Target 8.7 calls on the global community to take effective measures to end child labor in all its forms by 2025, we are far from achieving this. Child labor is prevalent all over the world, robbing many children of their basic right to live with dignity, enjoy their childhood, and attain their full development potential. Across the world, 160 million children are estimated to be involved in child labor, which is almost 1 among 10 children. The Africa, Asia, and the Pacific regions together account for almost 9 out of every 10 children being in child labor. The COVID-19 pandemic exacerbated the situation for many underprivileged children when their schools closed and their parents lost their jobs' wages. Many children who dropped out of school and who were forced to work to supplement their family income have not returned to school. The extent of child labor in India. India has a significant incidence of child labor. Census 2011 estimated that 43.53 lakh children in the age group of 5 to 14 were involved in child labor due to factors such as poverty, non-accessibility and illiteracy. Child labor is preferred in beadi, carpet weaving and firework factories. India enacted the Child Labor Prohibition and Regulation Act (CLPRA) in 1986, while the National Policy on Child Labor 1987 sought to adopt a gradual and sequential approach with a focus on rehabilitation. Its action plan included strict enforcement of the CLPRA and implementation of the National Child Labor Project in areas where there is a high incidence of child labor. The CLPRA was replaced with the Child Labor Prohibition and Regulation Amendment Act 2016, which prohibited the employment of children below 14 and had provisions for the prohibition on employment of adolescents 14 to 18 years in scheduled hazardous occupations. The right to education now mandates that the state shall provide free and compulsory education to all children in the age group 6 to 14 years. Most drives against child labor have been effective but only for a short time. There are several instances of children who were engaged earlier in labor and who dropped out of school returning to their workplace. But there is a success story. The Welper model. Welper Mandal Tehsil of Nizamabad district in erstwhile Andhra Pradesh, now Telangana, was once notorious for child labor. But in a dramatic way, it became a rare exception of shunning child labor due to the total control, the commitment and the involvement of the local community. In June 2001, a drive involving the community was started in Welper to ensure that all children in the age group of 5 to 15 years went to school and that no child would be engaged as labor in any form. After a sustained campaign for about 100 days, Welper was declared to be child labor free mandal. On October 2, 2001, 24 years later, there is 100% retention in schools and no child labor in a mandal once notorious for it. The campaign to identify and track every out of school child and enroll them in schools was initially led by a committed set of officials. But the fact is that there was large scale resistance in the beginning. Canards were spared that the teams moving in villages were part of a nationwide racket to kidnap children and sell their organs such as kidneys and eyes. Hotels refused to serve even tea, with those in hotels making sarcastic remarks that all their servers had joined school. But after persistent efforts and discussions with the people, the tide began to turn. People began to cooperate and even transformed it as their movement. Children who were seen in work places were sent to bridge schools under the NCLP. Public meeting emphasized the necessity of education and the need for children to go to school. In these meetings, children recognized their former employers who let them stop work and go to school. Under peer pressure, former employers also made a public announcement of writing off the balance amount, principal, the interest, and penal interest owed to them by the parents who took hand loans from them. The children were used as mortgages and as child labor till the amount was repaid. They even distributed school stationery to the children. A study found that a total number of about 35 lakh rupees was written off, the price for a good cause. All sarpanch signed a memorandum of understanding as in the provisions of the Andhra Pradesh Compulsory Primary Education Rules 1982 with the government district education officer in the presence of the district collector to ensure that all children in the 5 to 14 age group in their village were sent to school. The government in turn undertook to provide access infrastructure and teachers. This was the first time that such an agreement had been signed between Sarpanch and the government. There is no child labor, an achievement that is very jealously guarded by the community. To cherish this proud achievement of being the first mandal in the state to be declared child labor free and to remind them of their commitment to sustain it, villagers erected boards in every village with the words, "There is no child labor in our village." On October 8, 2021, as a part of the Azadi Ka Amrut Mahotsav, the V.V. Giri National Labour Institute, Noida, Uttar Pradesh, under the Ministry of Labour and Employment Government of India, organized a program in Nizamabad. The event was to celebrate 20 years of successful intervention to eliminate child labour and the declaration of Velpur Mandal as child labour free. All Sarpanch, caste elders, Jila Parisad members and people involved in the campaign were honored for their role in sustaining it. The challenge made to the local media to identify at least one child who was not in school had no takers. A leading news magazine had an exclusive report on this event. The Velpur story is well documented and has been appreciated by the ILO and the media. Velpur has been visited by many experts in the fields of education and child labor. The former President of India, APJ Abdul Kalam, and members of the National Human Rights Commission India sent letters of appreciation. The Velpur model, where there was the complete participation of the community in sustaining the fight against child labor, is an integral part of all training programs that are organized by the V.V. Giri National Labour Institute, Noida. Made aware of its sustained success, the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Labour, Textiles and Skill Development asked the then district collector who led this campaign to make a presentation before it on November 24, 2022. The Parliamentary Standing Committee appreciated and acknowledged its success. What is vital? This is community-led success story that is testimony of the axiom that social issues can be successfully and sustainably addressed only if they metamorphose into a people's movement. It is a proud moment for this writer to have been associated with it. He was the collector of Nizamabad district when this drive against child labor was taken up in Velpur in 2001. Thank you for listening.